In this video, I was going to turn on the Track E recorder. Of course, I completely and utterly must have forgotten to do so, but that doesn't matter. We will still talk anyway. Luckily, the DJI microphone was on. Well, good morning everybody from over there. We're going to do a little bit of experimenting this trip with this Tentacle Track E voice recorder, and and what this does is it records my voice or it records my mumblings directly onto this unit here, and it is quite clever. Now obviously I bought it, they didn't give it to me or anything, but I am just going to try it and see how I get on with this and to whether it's worth, you know, the extra hassle of setting it up. So basically how it works is you turn on your GoPro, which I've got here. What I am also going to do is record everything as usual on my DJI thing there. So if this works, and then we will have two fluffy things for probably most of this trip. So basically what we're going to do is we set that GoPro up there. So the one I'm recording on over there, and we still not turned this one on yet, that's my old GoPro 9, which for this we'll probably call GoPro 1 or something like that, so I know which is which. And then you grab your phone, and then you have a timecode generator, which Tentacle Sync do, and you literally hold it in front of your GoPro and you get a little tick, and it gives it a tick. You can then turn this this phone, put that phone down there and hit record. So we are now recording with two audio sources. One's kind of like a backup. So hello and welcome everybody. In case that didn't work, and in case we are relying on the DJI recorder, we'll carry on from now. So I do apologize if we double up, but I just wanted to see how it would work kind of like in the field. So we're all guinea pigs a little bit on this one. So what we have here, we have a DJI wireless recorder, which is this one, which is set up to this GoPro here with a wire and the media mod. And then over there, which I think you can see, I think it's in your field of view, I have a GoPro Hero 9, and these GoPros, they have the ability to generate time code. And interestingly, it won't do it when you're recording. So we're kind of just learning as we go, but that kind of does make sense really. But basically what it is you can get an external recorder like this Tentacle Track E recorder, and it was a bit fiddly to figure it out how it all works and what you need and what you don't need. And I will thank Paul Messner, because he was helpful with some of this information, plus a lot I just had to look on YouTube and Google and YouTube and Tentacle Track themselves, who I doubt will be watching this video. But if Bora, who helped me with some information, does watch my video from Tracky Tentacles, you gotta be very careful you don't say testicles. Tentacle. And then basically, you know, you have, as you can see here, you have a time code generator, which basically uses this QR code, and the GoPros can read that, and they then time stamp the recordings with the Tracky. So it's, in theory, easy to line it all up in post-production. I think there's a few more steps that you do have to jump through, as it were. It's not just load your footage onto the computer and then just start editing. You do have to obviously, you know, download it, organize it, so it will mean a little bit more organizing. I must admit, I'm intrigued by the wireless, not the wireless, but you know, the separate thing. And if ever I do use two cameras, which I probably won't, realistically, I probably won't that much. I'm just intrigued by it, and I thought, well, I'll buy it. You get 28 days or however many days it is to try it. So I thought, you know, as long as I don't, you know, wreck it or anything, I thought it was worth, you know, giving it a try. So we should be time synced with these two cameras. And in theory, you know, I could turn on my GoPro Hero 10 and timestamp that as well. And, you know, I could even put the recorder on the iPhone, and that works well. So you could in theory have a 4 camera setup if you want to. So with that, you do have to get this separate program. I'll tell you what it's called in a minute, but it was only about £7. So even if I don't use it, I'm not really gonna miss £7 too much. But basically you download this app which you pay for, and it syncs with the Tracky. It is quite clever. I've obviously got to reset something because it's overexposing everything at the moment. So I'll have a on manual. I'll have a play with that in a minute. I'm not going to waste your time. Yeah, that seems to be on manual, overexposing everything. I don't know what I've pressed on that. But anyway, we're back out on Dartmoor. Or the other thing I might just try and do, and I should be able to do it, so just bear with me one moment. This is just what I was going to try, because I've only got a small memory card in the Hero 9, so I don't really want to. We can't find this GoPro 13. Oh, okay, so 13 Pro Max, Hero 10. Well, I can't find the Hero 10 because it's not turned on. GoPro Hero 11. Make sure your GoPro is nearby and turned on. Well, it is. Why can't you? Maybe it can't find it because it's recording, and maybe when it's recording it won't work. I don't know, that's something else. But obviously GoPro, you have a GoPro app, which obviously has been on here for, you know, yonks, and I've never really used it that much. But there might be a way of, so I can kind of talk to talk to the hand. So I can talk either this way or that way, depending on which way I go. But I'm gonna turn that off. Oh, why didn't it turn off? Are you gonna... Oh, it's turned off now. My GoPro Hero 9 nearly crashed. Anyway, that's the usual fun and games out here. Let's bring that to you here. I'm going to make a cup of tea. Oh, actually, okay, so what I can do then, somehow, will powering off. The GoPro Hero 9 does appear to have... Oh no, it's not crashed. It seems to be okay. Oh, hang on. It's doing something. What's it doing? It's literally turned itself on. Okay, so, well, I want it on anyway. So if we go into that, then we go into that, we go to the time code generator, and that doesn't want to... This might all be too much hassle in the end, but we'll... Okay, now it's turned on. Maybe, I think you've probably got to wait a minute when you turn it on for it to hook up. So basically you just show it, and maybe it won't do it when it's... Why won't you... That's it, now it's done it, yeah. All right, maybe it just does it in certain lights. Okay, so we've turned this off, we turned it back on again. And that's now, oh, and then we hit record. I put a sticker on the top to remind me to press record. That's not so much to hit this record, is to make sure that I've got the X10 or a track E recording. So if I put that there, I know it's a bit of a faff, but it kind of, I don't mind a little bit of a faff as long as it's not too much of a faff. And it might just be kind of interesting. It's such a bright light, it's difficult to see anything. So that camera there, in theory, should be looking at my teapot. So when I'm messing around, oh mother, actually that's still hot enough, so I don't need to light it anymore. That should be okay. So so then I can now be, you know, be I can now pretend to be like Steven Spielberg, you know. I mean, I've always pretended to be Steven Spielberg, but with this I can pretend to be Steven Spielberg, Spielberg, not Spielberg, Berg, and just you know, make some tea here. We'll find out whether it really is as warm as I'm thinking. I'm going to put another tea bag in, because there is a tea bag in there, which you might not be able to see there, but I do think it's run out of tea. I'm not quite sure how Jack Russell managed to get cups of tea to last an entire test match. I can make a tea bag last about two or three cups, because my tea bags always last a while, but I can never get them to last, you know. Lassie, leave the tea bag. I can never get them to last that long. Okay, all right, so I don't know what we can see or what's happening. It's the usual meandering waffle. So the new viewers, you've probably all turned off by now, and the old viewers, you've also probably all turned off by now. We're gonna sit back and chill out. This is just a life. Oh. Oh, this is a life. Cheers, everybody. This won't be my 650th video, because this will probably be about my 650 seconds or something like that by the time I get this edited. But thank you to everyone for sitting through 650 videos. How many of you have watched every single video? Has anybody watched every single video? There's some of the early ones are probably with a cat and that sort of things like that. So I thought maybe not every single video, but who's watched like 95%? That is nice tea. All right. I'll see you all in a minute. Hang on, oh no. I'll tell you about this chair a bit later. Oh God, oh no, you Tony. Oh, yes. Oh my God. Oh my God, the Hobbs is having sex with his chair now. Oh God. Oh my God, there's no hope, Lassie. And that's recording. That's clever. And they're probably wondering why I'm talking to myself. So basically what I've done, I tell you, technology these days, it's it's clever stuff really. So you might be interested, I'll show you. You can, on your GoPros, you can download, it's on their website, it's an official edition that you can add QR code. And it's called GoPro Labs. And the app is called QR Control. And on here, you can set whatever parameters you want, and probably on their computer, on your computer and their website, you can probably do even more options. And the theory is you could print that QR code out and not even have to necessarily get your phone out. And you don't actually need to use it either, because once you've set the camera to the parameters that you want for recording, which we would normally do by, you know, fiddling around on the back, and once it's set, then it's set and you're not actually having to do anything. But I think what you can do is, you know, on the back, if you want to do time lapse, well obviously then you've got to turn your camera on, flick the back, which, let's face it, only takes 2 seconds anyway, because it's probably already set. But in theory, all you need to do, if you wanted to do a time lapse, would be to turn the camera on and then point that QR code at the camera when it's not recording, and it will switch automatically from standard recording, which is what it's doing now, to a time lapse. And then you could just hit record on the top, or you could even, if you're a lazy bugger, you could even go to the GoPro app and turn on and off the camera from the app. You don't even need to, I don't even need to get out of my lazy chair, you know, to do that. So that's quite clever. And you can also, because they've got a GPS built into them, they know when sunrise and sunset is. So that last video that I did in the Lake District, I'm going to need my glasses soon. I didn't bring them this trip, but quite soon I'm going to need to bring my glasses and a sunny hat. But that sunrise that I did in the last Lake District trip, that wasn't me waking up, going outside. I'm far too lazy, you know, for that. But you can set up a sunrise thing on the app, point it at the camera, tell the camera that you wanted to start recording before sunrise, and you can tell it how much before. I said 15 minutes, and how much after sunrise you wanted to record for, and I think I said an hour 15 or something like that. You're probably more limited to the battery power within the GoPro than you are, you know, anything else. But what you could do is, and I have it at home, I don't think it's in I'm not sure, but you can get a little GoPro attachment which goes on the side of the camera, and you can plug a power pack into that, and it's a GoPro specific thing, and it's waterproof, although your power pack isn't, so you'd probably have to somehow, you know, make sure that your power pack doesn't get wet. And you can put power in, so you could do any, you know, a time lapse, or you could do a setup of any description for any length of time with this little. Basically, you take the battery cover comes off the side of the GoPro, and you put on a different battery cover, which has a little hole in it where the USB attachment, you know, for charging it up goes in. So if this wireless thing goes well, I could end up, for some videos or some trips, ditching the media mod, ditching the GoPro, sorry, ditching the DJI you know, recorder, or you know, the Wi-Fi thing. You're ditching all of that and then just using this, you know, this Tentacle Track E voice recorder. And as long as you remember to, you know, synchronize it, and funnily enough, I'm not sure whether I did for this or not. I might not have done, but I can't remember. But if I didn't, it will still have time code within it, and if it is out, then you can still line it up in post-production. So it's not the end of the world if I'm talking odd. That doesn't really, that won't matter too much, because I can fiddle that. So we'll just see how it goes. I just enjoy coming out here, and even though, yes, I do say don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button to all, that doesn't necessarily mean that I am desperate for more viewers and subscribers. I am. Come on, more. Basically, there are 6, or is it now 7 billion people on planet Earth, and there's probably one tiny percentage of people, you know, that don't want to watch the usual regular outdoor video channels, you know, which a lot of people, you know, tend to do. And there's probably some people that just want to watch an idiot messing around doing odd things, and you know, camping as well. So really that's why I say it, because you know, there might very well be people who are just interested in this type of thing, just something, you know, a little bit different to the usual thing. Now, I did reach out. I will thank Dan Jones. He's on Instagram and what have you. And he did say, and obviously several other of you have said, you know, reach out to some companies, send them an email and see whether anyone gets back to you with anything, whether anyone is interested in sending you something that you can use. So this Helinox chair, thank you Helinox, this is the ground chair, and they sent this to me, and this is probably my first proper what do we call it? We can't really say it's a free thing, but this is the first thing that I've been sent that hasn't cost me anything on the channel. I've had the earplugs, but that was probably some and they're good. Don't forget earplugs down in the on Amazon below. I've used them a couple of times since that video. Maybe not, you know, a huge amount of time, but I have used them and they are good. So if I use something on the channel, whether I've, you know, got it or been given it or just got it myself, I think you will be able to tell whether it is any good, you know, or not, just by just by how I am, really. We're going to make a cup of tea. I did work out why the cameras weren't hooking up properly with the app, and the reason is when I did the GoPro Labs for the lab, when I did the labs, the reason why the reason why I couldn't get the GoPro to hook up properly to the app was because when I did the labs, I turned off GPS and I turned off Wi-Fi, and I think you need to have Wi-Fi on for the two to communicate with each other. So I figured that out. So basically I went back into the labs and then just simply turned it on, generated a new QR code, and then it just appears on your phone in your saved images thing, and then you just point that at the camera, literally as simple as that, and then that just updates obviously your settings, including turning on Wi-Fi. So now I can go to the I can now go to the tentacle. When you turn it on, it does seem to take a minute. Very clearly, I will never be a tutor. Okay, tracky tentacles, I think you do need to try and be a bit... Okay, now it's finally... Okay, tentacle, I think you need to get your QR code thing generated a little bit quicker. I've got that on the app there, and I really want to be turning it, pressing it, and I want that coming up quickly, not taking half an hour to appear. So this is now time code generated. So tentacles, if you are watching, either I'm doing something wrong and it's taking too long to generate, or you need to make that a little bit quicker. So we're going to now what we're going to do is we're now going to, once I've streamlined things a bit, that's the Hero 9. So that's the Hero 9, which is this camera down there, and I can now hit record, and we are now recording on that thing down there. So I can now talk to you and record at the same time me making a cup of tea. So it's kind of like you get double. Like I said, realistically, whether I do this very often, I don't know. We'll see. It kind of depends how much of a faff the whole thing is. But it might make my waffles a bit more interesting for people to pay attention with. All right, we'll get some water in there. Okay. And then literally from the comfort of my free Helinox chair, I can turn off, just make sure you got the right one. GoPro Hero 9 is now turning off, and then I can go to Hero 11. And with the touch, the power, I don't even have to exert myself to go over there now. Mind you, I didn't before either. I mean, I could have done it before, but I'm just playing around with this stuff now. So now with the power of this button, are you ready to be, you are, you will be exterminated. Are you still there? Exterminate. It worked. It actually worked. I exterminated civilization with the power of one button. Are you ready to be exterminated again? This is too much fun. I have too much fun out here. I think people just, they don't have fun these days. They haven't got a sense of humour, I don't think. Okay, we're going to exterminate you again.